Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. My audio kind of screwed up the last time I recorded this, and I don't know what it is. If it's broken this time, you probably already know it, and I probably released it anyway, so sorry about that. But today we're going to talk about the Red Frieza. He's kind of like a new archetype, even though like Red Frieza came out in Clash of Fates. And I've got two decks with him, the mild version and the spicy version. But let's just jump on into it. So we've got this new Red Frieza, and so when I first saw this card, I'm like, oh, cool. There are a lot of Clash of Fate cards that said, you know, specifically a Red Frieza's army card. We only had one leader, so a new leader that kind of mixes stuff up. That could be really cool for like the Ginyu Force stuff or like the Frieza Swap engine. That would be, you know, like, that's just really cool stuff going on. And then like the first line of this guy is, oh, this card you can't include battle cards with a cost of 3 or less. I'm like, oh, cool. So all that's just gone, right? This is just an entirely new archetype. You could have just told me that, but you couldn't just tease me by using a Red Frieza guy, right? But yeah, so he has an active main once per turn. You look at the top 5 cards from your deck, and you choose up to 1 red extra card among them, and add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. And that's pretty good, just being able to find red extra cards, and just in general, this deck just thrives on all the red extra cards, so that's really cool. And it's also a draw 2 leader, which is weird. Most of the time when you have a leader that kind of gets, you know, card advantage on the front side, it's an untapped 2. Like any of our new cards that, new leaders that just say, you know, if you attack a leader, draw a card, or like the new, you know, the Broly card that's really popular, you know, take a life and draw a card. If you attack anything, it's an untapped 2. But this is a draw 2, and I think mostly just because they were probably worried it'd be a little bit too control heavy if it was an untapped 2, or the fact that you have, since it is control heavy, you're kind of more wasting cards than energy. I don't know, whatever. I think it's okay with this. And then also on the Awaken side, it's just active main once per turn, draw 1 card. So that's really cool. It lets you just kind of swing to have 4 cards. If you always want to awaken on your turn, because what you get to do is you get to get 1 with your active main on your front side, draw 2, and then you get to just do your active main on your awakened side. So that's 4 cards right there. But also it has a good auto. So when this card is attacked by a battle card, you can choose 1 Red Frieza army card from your hand, place it in your drop area, and then negate that attack and the skill for duration of the turn. So it pretty much turns any of your Red Frieza army cards into negates, which is really great. You don't even have to pay energy for it, which is also great. So I think that's awesome, and we have a lot of Red Frieza army stuff. So let's just jump on into the deck. So we're just going to go through the extra cards first, because you know you can't. There's no 4-drop red extra cards, and we can't have anything less than that for this deck. So first we've got Kaba's Awakening. This is just generic combo fodder. We don't have a lot of like 5k combos in this deck, so this is great. And it's a 6k combo, which can be technically a 10k combo for most intents and purposes on defense. So that's really good. Just being able to have a good combo source for free out of your hand can be really good. Next up, the negate from this new set that a lot of people are kind of looking forward to it is called "Is That All You've Got?" ? All these, there are a lot of names in this set that just have wonky, like, or just like a character or two too long. But it's a counterattack if your leader card is red. Negate the attack, then you may choose 1 red card in your hand, place in your drop area, and if you do, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 15k for the rest of the turn. So you can potentially blow up 2 things and negate an attack with 1 card and dropping another card. So it could be like a 2-for-3 trade, which is great, and just in general, popping something feels great. And now your opponent has to be scared of this, and it's in general, it's just a really great negate, and there are reasons why people are so excited for this. So I think that's a really good add from the set and for this deck. Next up, we've got After Image Technique, the former really good red negate. So it's a free negate though, so that's something that's really valuable. And I guess, you know, it's not a negate, right? You still go to combo phase, but you get plus 50k power difference, and you can potentially blow up one of your opponent's cards. And yeah, it's just a good red card. So next up, we've got New Model Scouter. You look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Red Frieza army cards with energy cost of 4 or more. Among them, add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. That can be really good for finding everything, to be honest. At first I didn't know it was, I thought it was 4 or less, which would be worse, but I also didn't know it was restricted to red. In general, I also think this card could be used in the Clash of Fates Red Frieza cards if you're trying to find your like your 5-drop or your or any of these. I mean, I think this archetype can work with the Clash of Fates leader anyways, but it's just good for finding any of your cards, and it can be a +1, which is always this deck is really just about gaining advantage and then making trades by ditching extra cards, I guess. So there's that. Next up is Transcendent Strike. So if your leader card is red, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20k or less power and KO it. So pretty much any card that comes out before turn 4, you can pretty much blow up, which is really great. It's active main, it's not active battle. If it was active battle, it'd be broken, but it's not. But just anything with barrier you can just pop for free, and that just feels really good. So there's that. So we're running 3 of that. We're running 4 of Live to Fight Another Day. This card is super interesting. So if your leader card is a red Frieza army, you and your opponent and your opponent has 3 or more energy. Draw 1 card, and for the duration of your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't play battle cards with 20k power or less unless they choose 3 cards from their hand and place them in their drop area as an additional cost. So this sucks going first, is great going second, just because your opponent will be at 3 energy before you. But just the fact that you're able to pretty much stall the game and have that be like they just can't summon stuff, right? And so if they have an empty board, which will be pretty probable since you've got like Transcendent Strike, and is that all you got? So you're just kind of making it like them having reverse synergy for playing stuff, and then if they haven't played anything, then you can just kind of lock them down like that. So of course there's stuff they can play that are 40k or 25k or more on turn 4, but I think this is a really good card and can really help with the kind of just control strategy this archetype is really going for. So next up we've got 4 Foreseeing Hit. I don't expect this card to be played a lot, but it is a red card and it's a 4-drop and it's a 5k, and if you happen to need to play it, it's really good. Just being, helps this kind of card advantage engine in general. Just being able to neg 2 out of your opponent's hand, I think is really powerful, and it's just a good card. Everyone knows that, so I think 4 of it makes sense. We're running 4 Loyal Cochino. So I guess we haven't really talked about this. There's no actual super combo for this deck. There's no 4-drop super combo card except for Pan, I guess, which is yellow and doesn't even have the 10k boost. If Pan had the 10k boost combo for free, I'd 100% add it. Just it's a 10k for free, right? Like that's why we're playing Compass Awakening. But anyways, so Loyal Cochino, so he's kind of like a pseudo combo in the sense of when you play or combo with this card, if your leader is a red Frieza's army, choose up to one red extra card front in your drop area, add it to your hand, so you can add like another Compass Awakening, for example, and then you've got a 16k combo, right? So that's really good for 1 energy. Or you can get, is that all you got, or after image, so you can block another negate if you need to. So in general, I think that's really good. We've got so this is my cheese card for the deck. We're just running 2 of this card, but it's pretty much like the free Han, any of those like 10k combos that summon itself. This is a 4-drop, and then when you combo with this card, if your leader card is red and if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, you can play a ghost token in rest mode. And this guy's got double strike in case that's important. But this is just cheese. I had some extra space, and like people are like, oh, if you need to really play a card, you can do that. You have to have 4 or less cards, which kind of sucks. But if you have 5 cards in combo with that, this counts. But it's just cheese, so whatever. You don't have to play it. If you don't want to play this card, just play 1 more Cochino and 1 more Berry Blue. But whatever. We've got 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. It's a pseudo combo. You can cycle your hand, and it's just okay with that. So there's that. We've got 4 of the Cochino, the Fledgling. When you play or combo with this card, if your leader is a red Frieza's army, you may choose 1 card from your hand, place in your drop area. If you do so, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 5k for the duration of the turn. So this card's like, I don't know how I feel about this card. I think it's okay, and in general, it can turn any of your 10k combos into a 5k combo against battle cards because and if they don't have barrier. So, but yeah, I can see like there would be time like you're just stuck with like 10k cards and extra cards, so you can pitch one with this guy and then you turn it into a 5k against a battle card, or you can blow something up. It's kind of flexible that way. Maybe I should do like 4 of these guys, only 2 Berry Blue. This probably is more useful in general, but I just put a 3 and 3 split for there. So, but I think this guy's actually pretty good for this deck. So, But we'll go to Berry Blue. So when you play this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza army, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 25k power or less, ignoring barrier and getting control of it. So if you play Live to Fight Another Day and they're like, aha, I'll play this 25k guy and then I won't get affected by it, you can just play Berry Blue and take control of it. Or you can even like use Cochino the Fledgling. If they have something with 30k, just play it, combo with something, give it minus 5k, and then you can take control of it with Berry Blue, right? There's some synergy there. I think that's everything. That's the only card that can really do that on your turn. But there's like a minor synergy, I guess. And so you can steal stuff. Using all your energy on turn 5 to steal something means that you probably have to like attack it with game with it. But I mean, I guess it's a chance, right? So we're running through those. Looking at this more, I think we should do a 4-2 split, but whatever. But going into like the meaty finishing power of this deck, Frieza the Finisher here, the aptly named. So it's double strike, and if you have 5 or more red extra cards in your drop area, reduce the cost of this in your hand by 1, and then if you have 10 or more, reduce it again, so it can be a 5 drop if you got 10 red extra cards in there. Then auto, when you play this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza army, you can choose all battle cards with 25k power or less, ignoring this card, or it's not ignoring this card, ignoring other than this card, and ignoring barrier and KO them. So you can just pretty much wipe your opponent's board, which is great. I mean, it puts Berry Blue to shame, right? Because you can just play this on turn 5 and just wipe him out instead of just gaining control of it. You have this big double strike guy, and then you've got Golden Frieza. So EX Evolve by dropping 3 on top of a 7-drop Frieza BR, and then it's critical, which is whatever. But if your leader card is a red Frieza army, you and your opponent can't play battle cards with 30k power or less unless they choose 4 cards from their life and place them in the drop area as they play the battle card. So if you just have if this card is out there and your opponent has 4 life or less, you pretty much win the game because they probably can't blow it up unless they are running a weird leader like Cell that can blow this guy up for free, and then you just kind of go from there. So, but really cool. Also, when this card evolves on this card, you switch this to active mode. I guess it's whatever. But just really controlling, and I think it's just in general that's the idea of these Frieza decks, just to have a really big, powerful guy you can lock down your opponent with, and I think that's really fair a lot of the time, right? Because a lot of the time people are like, oh, I don't like control decks, but turn 3 or 4 is what's standard right now. Getting to turn 5 or turn 6, if you need to play this card, I think that's worth the risk, and it just offers a solid win condition, right? I think I meant to make a video on this like before, but like a lot of reasons I don't think there are a lot of control decks, or there aren't enough cards that just offer a control win condition for them to exist. And I think this card is something that can generate that win condition for those kinds of decks that are missing it. So and then lastly, I don't think I talked about this. It's Frieza Army Born. It's the secret rare. If you don't have it, whatever. It's Quad Strike Ultimate. And if you got 2 or less life, it's a 5k. When you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand, choose up to 1 card from your opponent's hand, place it in the drop area, then choose all your opponent's battle cards with 40k power or less, ignoring barrier and KO them. So really powerful, being able to just swing for it's kind of like the same thing, right? Like if your opponent has 4 or less life, just play this guy and you win, right? So this is just one of those on a stick. Instead of having to have 2 cards and dropping 3, you can just play this guy and do that anyway. So it's whatever. It's probably, I don't know if it's just also jank, but you can run it, so I did. That's the only way I did it. So, and we can go to the spicier version. So I don't know if this is a good idea, but I put the Chain Attack Zen-oh into it. The reason for that is I want to add blue because Sensu Beans and Weeze's Coercions are really good cards for promoting a control archetype, and then also if you want to side in some Mafubas if you need to, that's really important. But Chain Attack Zen-oh is just always super good, and I think it's really, really good in this deck type because if you're at 4 life and on turn 4, what you can do is you can Chain Attack Zen-oh. Both you and your opponent get to 5 cards, and then you can do the Frieza combo I mentioned earlier, where you get an extra card that's +1. You flip over, draw 2, so that's +3, and then you just use active main to draw a 4th card. So you now have 9 cards to your opponent's 5, and you also have the Zen-oh on board, which is it doesn't have a combo cost, but it's a 15k, right? So I think that's super powerful. A lot of cards might be dead in your hand after you do that, but it's something that you can do, right? So, and if you are going to lose anyways, or if they have like some big combo coming out next turn, you can do it. I don't know, this might be cheese, but so I did that, and then also lets us run Quick Shift Berry Blue. Berry Blue is really good in the sense that you choose 2 cards in your hand, shuffle in your deck, and draw 2. And so if you have too many Zen-ohs, or if you're looking for Zen-ohs, you can do that, and then you got some advantage there. So that's not the worst, I guess. That's patent-pended Egman, like, not the worst, I guess. So there's that. This is more of a cheesy version. I just thought to drop it in, and maybe someone will have fun with this and optimize it. But that should be it for this deck. Let me know what you guys think below. Hopefully the audio issue didn't persist this time, but if it is, then I'm sorry about that. Hopefully I'll get it fixed by the next video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.